My boyfriend saw the jewelry I got recently and told me that he hates me stretching my ears. Now, he's really starting to stretch the limits of our relationship. I, 30F, have been with my boyfriend, 30M, for almost 10 years. He's very neat and professional in appearance, while I have tattoos, dyed hair, and pierced ears. He works from home as a lead programmer, and I work as a manager and pet groomer. Even though we look different and have different jobs, we share a lot of interests and opinions. If anything, our differences help balance us out. Some background that might help explain our relationship: I started getting tattoos before we met, but my biggest one was done 2 years ago. He's not a big fan of tattoos and has no plans to get any. I've never pushed, but I did ask if he'd get a tiny one with me. It's not a big deal for me, so after he said no, I dropped it. He wasn't thrilled about my big tattoo, but since I'd had ink done before, he expressed some concerns about the money I spent and left it at that. Fast forward to this past month. I've always liked the jewelry that people with stretched ears wear. Some of it looks really cool or pretty, and on a whim, I decided to stretch my piercings. With the help and advice of a friend, I got a kit and started stretching with the goal of reaching about a 2 grams/0 grams maximum. When I first told him about this, he said he really didn't like how stretched ears looked and didn't want me to stretch them to the point where you could see through my ear or fit a pencil. I reassured him and said I'd stop before reaching the generally accepted point of no return. Today, as I was moving up from a 10 grams to an 8 grams, he watched me moisturize and sanitize my jewelry in the ears. Once again, he asked how big I was going, and I showed him what a 2 grams looked like. He gave me an unpleasant look and explained that he still really disliked how gauges and stretched ears looked. He further explained that stretched ears didn't fit my style, as it was more punk while I fit more into streetwear or gal styles. He doesn't like how they look and doesn't think I'll look good with them. I felt disheartened. I took out my jewelry, packed them up, and put them away, maybe to discard them. Now I'm sitting here debating whether I should keep stretching because it's something I want for myself or if I should respect his wishes and stop. I already pushed it with how many tattoos I have and how big they are, so maybe I should give up on this one thing. I don't want him to see me as unattractive, so I don't want to change myself beyond what he's willing to accept. But I also don't want him telling me what to do with my body. Why did you ask his opinion if you weren't going to consider it? I didn't really ask for his opinion. I only brought it up to let him know that this was something I wanted to do because I was interested in it. This is strange to me because you've been with this guy for a decade. I don't really care for gauges, but if my partner of 10 years decided to get them, I wouldn't leave them. These comments are wild to me. Many people have told me to think about whether my stretched ears are more important than my long relationship. I did. I also thought about whether he would view it that way, whether my stretched ears would be worth ending a long relationship. It isn't for me, and I hope he feels the same. Update 1. I told him last night that I have decided to stop stretching. He simply gave me a hum in response while we continued to make dinner, and we haven't talked about it since. I know I'm allowed to do with my body as I see fit, and he's free to leave me if he wants. Neither him nor I look, act, or think like when we first met, some of the changes by choice and others because aging is a thing. Tastes have changed, but I have still chosen him, and I want to believe that he still continues to choose me. This choice to stop was not because he told me to, but because, as a lot of people have mentioned, relationships are a give and take. At almost a decade, what I do to my ears or not is not a hill I'm willing to die on. To those of you who have shown concern about the language I used in my post, I'm grateful for your concern, and I wholeheartedly believe this is a choice I made, and not a decision based on any fear of abandonment. A few commenters asked how I'd like it if he changed himself in a way that I didn't find attractive. Short answer is I don't have an answer. I'd like to say at this point in our relationship, I'm here because of who he is on the inside. While I do believe that to be my answer, I'm a human and I am flawed. Maybe there is a thing he could do, but I can't think of anything.